Welcome back to Studio Chatter. New Year's comes, you decide to make some changes. New Year's goes, and you're still in the same spot. How can we break that cycle? Listen up for some answers. Welcome Connie Sokol to the table. Welcome back. Feeling the energy. Connie's in the house.
I feel like these two are on one tonight. Watch out.
Oh my gosh. I love it when you're here because it literally, really, the energy is just so great and we're just ready to be inspired.
Oh, thank you. I'll dig deep. I'll see what we have. Happy New Year. It's going to be rocking this year. I hope you guys are putting on your boots and getting ready to roll because it's going to be good.
Yes.
Indeed.
Yes, we are. That's the plan.
Well, what are you feeling this year? What's the word? What are you feeling back from women?
What's the word on the street?
Yes.
Yo, I am talking to women and I'll tell you, I'm getting kind of a variety of things, but the main thing that keeps coming back, the couple of patterns are, number one, they are feeling stressed that they should already have their whole life planned for the year. Anybody else want that? It's like it starts off with like a word of the year, which I've done for years, but now we have to have a matching song and a matching quote, and then you have to have a matching color. And it's like, did you have your life planned for the next 12 months? And it's so stressful. And I say, take a deep breath. This is not necessary. We don't need to have that. If that works for you, great. Right. But that's only an exercise to get to a deeper point. And that's something that I want to talk about tonight, which is really getting to define your quality of life. And that's the other thing I'm hearing from women is, I want this year to be different. I want it to be more meaningful. I don't want to just feel like I got done with the year and I went, what happened? Where did it go? I remember reading one time Oprah saying, there are years of my life that I don't remember because it was so full. Have you ever felt that way where it's like, well, 2 weeks have passed just like this? We're like, where did that go? So I feel like there's this need and this deep desire for women to feel that what they're doing and their daily dues are adding up to something meaningful. And we get part of it is just, it's checking off when we have to, drop off and pick up and all of those things. But ultimately that we're moving towards something that has more significance and more meaning. And so that's another thing that I'm hearing.
What's an example of that, Connie?
Well, for example, some women that I've talked to, they're like, I feel like when your stage of life shifts, we've just been talking about different kids. You're on the other side. We're older, really the adult children, and you're in the thick of the middle, and you've got the young ones. And I've got a mix of all. I've got 4 kids in 4 different schools, college down to elementary. And when the shifts change in your life and in your kids' lives, it's almost like women, we don't realize that we have to shift too. And it's okay to do that. We need to do that. And that it's okay for us to start being more inclusive of more pieces of us. That there are times we have to give out and just say, you know what, I'm sacrificing certain things right now because that's for the betterment of what's happening at this stage. We get that as mothers. We get that as women. But we also, we can't shove to the side the call of our soul. Oh, here we go. Sorry. The call of our soul that says, I'm still a person. Sorry. It's hard when I talk to women and I just feel this hopelessness sometimes of this thing. Is that all there is? Is it just chores and dishes and cleaning up after people and running kids places? And I say, no.
Right.
No. So it really is about defining what is that quality of life? What does that look like for you? What do you want it to be this year? Because you can choose. And that's something I don't know that women understand. They can see it in their mind's eye. They can create this vision of what's the kind of life I want to live this year and not put ceilings of limits on, well, I can't because I got a little one. Well, I can't. I've got busy teenagers. Can't, right?
I love that. That's what I was just going to ask. Like, do you think women just aren't dreaming big enough?
I think that they're not dreaming, giving themselves permission to dream at all. I know.
Sad.
For some of us, I think the dream is I want to nap like in midday.
Right.
That is my dream. Like I don't even need to go to Costa Rica or something.
Right.
But I feel like they're not giving themselves permission, like you said, to dream big, but just not even to dream and say it's okay for me to do that and still be a woman, wife, mother, aunt, caregiver. I get a slice of that pie as well because it makes us better.
I totally agree.
Have you noticed
Amen.
that? When you take
Yes.
a slice, what happens to you? What happens when you do that?
Well, you can't be that person for everyone else unless you're being that person to yourself. Like it's preaching self-care,
Yes.
but you have to take that time out.
Yes.
Then if we're not doing it as women, is it because of our environment, our culture? What is it? somehow we're all feeling like, no, we shouldn't. We shouldn't
Yes.
get a massage once a year. We shouldn't we shouldn't go out every weekend and pay a sitter, or I shouldn't have a nanny or a cleaner. What would people think? Like, why is it that so many women feel that way?
Again, I think it goes back to defining that quality of life. Being able to say to yourself, and going into that next step of owning your life, being able to say, you know what, this is the quality of life that I know brings joy and makes me feel aligned with my soul, my mind, my body, aligned with what I know is best for myself and my family. Because if it's good for you, it's most likely good for your family. And so this whole self-care piece, for example, I know I have a friend that she was like, I'm so done with trying to keep up with the house, with all of her kids and stuff. She said, I'm going to get my carpets clean. So here comes the carpet cleaning van into the driveway. It's not but a few minutes. She's getting phone calls. So are you okay? Are you sick? I noticed that there's a carpet cleaning van in the driveway. Are you doing okay? I roared. I'm like, I hope you told them it's so awesome. They're cleaning the carpets. You want me to send them over to you when you're done? You know, I mean,
So where does
that come from? It's this pecking order sort of a, well, if I'm not going to allow myself to do it, I'm not going to allow you to do it, right? And that is the narrow-mindedness that sometimes that vortex we allow ourselves to get sucked into, whether it's I have to have the best cupcake to bring to the PTA function, or it's my children have to look really beautiful on our family pictures. You know, whatever it is that we set ourselves up for.
So true.
Right?
We do it
true.
to ourselves, and it really is just allowing. It's allowing yourself to just brush it off and say, I'm okay. I'm okay with it. Are you okay with it?
I'm okay with the Costco cupcakes.
It really is.
Bingo.
Because nobody else cares.
That's right.
Nobody else cares if they have the prettiest cake. And really, if you bake Betty Crocker's $1.29 cake mix cakes, because that's what I'm going to make.
They turn out great.
And you know who remembers it? The kids.
That's right.
It's the memories that they remember. They could care. They really could care less. I've had to give my own self permission to do that.
Yes.
Well, we all have our thing.
Yeah,
Like,
we
I
do.
might be something good at something. Connie, you are going to be good at something different, but I can't compare my negative things or bad things or good things to yours.
That's right. That's exactly right. And that goes back to defining that quality of life. What matters to me? Is it beautiful cupcakes, or is it playing on the floor with my son for an extra 30 minutes instead of making it just perfect? Because that we all do. Like you said, we have our thing, we have our pressure points. And so when we can get real with ourselves and we understand, oh, you know what? That's a hot button for me. Then we can open up to women and we can say, oh my gosh, you make the cutest cupcakes. Can you make some? I'll hire you. Can you make some for my next birthday party?
Because you find joy in that.
That's right, because
So
she
do it.
loves it.
Yeah,
Isn't that
do
great?
it.
Friend who loves gardening, I have a friend who loves food storage, and I can't stand either. And I say, okay, you do the legwork, I'll buy the packets. Sounds awesome.
Yes.
And then guess what happens? We create friendship between each other and not enmity. Suddenly we're helping each other. Suddenly there's joy, and we see each other, we're like, hey, it turned out so good. And now there's building and there's abundance. That's the key.
It's so funny though that it takes so many years to finally get to that point. Like it finally takes years and years, and you go, oh, why did it finally take?
Yes.
Why did it take that to finally come to that epiphany to go, oh,
Yeah.
that could have been doing that all along.
Yes.
You go make the slime because I hate it.
I don't like it. It's years of Play-Doh, and I'm like, okay,
I
like
hate
Monopoly,
Play-Doh.
and then what's the one, the Candyland game? I was like, I'm done. 25 years, no more Candyland. We're finished. So there's some things we just have to put a stop on and say, a moratorium on that. I don't, so there we go. Done trying to attempt that. And that's okay. Again, going back to that first and second step, which is owning your life. Being able to say, you know what? I have choice here. And this is the choice I choose to make, and I'm going to sit and soak in that. I'm going to be content with that, and I'm not going to need to have validation, outside validation about it, because I'm solid in my core about who I am and why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's such a key.
I think sometimes everything you say, because I even think about myself and the choices I've made up until now. Until going to school, I'm going back to school.
Yay!
But I was talking to my sister about this because I'm trying to quit my job, and it's really, anyway. Do they know? Yeah. No, I know. By the time this airs, I will be out. So it doesn't matter.
There'll be more trying.
Yeah.
I'll be done.
And it's just, it's been really bizarre trying to get out of it. At first it was about the kids. Now it's not about the kids. It's just about me, and maybe it's security, or I don't know what it is. To let go of it. And the whole family's gone through step by step how wonderful it would be to have mum back home and having a clean house, calm mum. And yet I can still look them in the face and go, yes, I'll take it. You don't have to pay me. I don't mind suffering here with thousands, and then you walk out the door and you're like, what did I just say? Why did I do that?
Why did I do that?
You know?
Yes.
And it surprises me because
I'm not even like that.
No, you're not.
I'm not even like that. That's what it is.
She's a strong, dominant woman. Like, it surprises me that
and my husband's at loss. Like, what else can I say?
What is going on?
Seriously, yeah.
Do you know what? I see this over and over, and part of it really is a biological thing. I don't know if you've read like the female brain and different books that talk about a woman's brain does shift at those mile markers. So at the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, we have different actual genetic shifts, and so it's funny when you see the changes that actually happen. But that is part of that. And we can talk more about this limbo stage, because when you're kind of moving from one stage to the next, there's all those markers to deal with. So we can talk about that.
Hold that thought. We'll be back in just a second. We'll be back more with Connie in just a second. Stay with us.